Hello there, YouTube. It is your boy B3, back with another kicking action figure review. As promised, today's review is the Godzilla vs. Kong Battle MechaGodzilla from Playmates Toys. Yes, I reviewed the regular Playmates MechaGodzilla a while back, years ago probably, and I had this guy, and I just legit never got around to it. It's really just the same MechaGodzilla, but black. But making MechaGodzilla's black is a time-honored tradition. Showa MechaGodzilla, they did it with that in Godzilla Island. They did it with Kiryu, I think mostly for toys, but still they did it. I don't have any knowledge of Heisei or anime doing it, but they did it with our Godzilla. Or MechaGodzilla, I should say. He's pretty neat. I think black really suits him, especially since he is a villainous Mecha-G, or technically a Ghidorah. He's got the translucent red spines. I'm a sucker for translucence and transparency in figures. Plus, I think he's got some neat detail. This is a kid's toy, and we judge kids' toys by kids' toy standards, not adult collectible standards. I think it's pretty fun. He's got beady red eyes, but they really don't pop terribly much on this black. I guess they kind of do when the light's shining on him real hard, but otherwise, eh. And then he has this tummy, and the tummy, how does this work? It's been quite a while since I removed this. Ooh, tummy pops off, and I think it would have been more interesting if this was painted. Like, I have like Jurassic Park figures from when I was a kid and stuff, and even like a 98 Godzilla, like baby Godzilla from when I was a kid, and you would pop the piece off and there would be like legit gore under there, like bone and meat. And I'm not saying kids' toys should have that, because they probably shouldn't, but this is a robot, technically a cyborg, but it is robotic. I think this would have been much more interesting to kids if it was painted up. I feel like most kids are either going to not put this on and lose it, or just do what adult collectors are going to do and leave it on and almost never take it off. But even if you do lose it, it's not a super big deal because it's still the same color throughout. It's kind of a boring gimmick on this guy if you don't paint some like reds and blues and yellows and little green beeping lights and little wires and stuff in there. Without that, what is the point? But he does come with this. It's a blast effect. You can see there's got a bit of a hollowed end, so you could maybe stick something in there, which is interesting. And it does peg into the back of his mouth. You can actually close his mouth on it to help hold it in better. And it took a few shakes to fall out, but I think it's an okay accessory. If it stayed in a little longer like that would be better. See, there we go. That's much better. So that's pretty decent. It's got a neat sculpt. Stays in the mouth all right if you clamp the jaw down. If you don't clamp the jaw down, it's not as, see, it's not as conclusive. That's not the word I was looking for at all. Anyway, articulation-wise, you got jaw articulation. My favorite articulation on kaiju figures. Up and down on the arms, these shoulders do kind of hinder. You got forward and back. I wish to God there was elbow articulation, but there isn't. So this arm has this kind of weird cocked pose. I really wish he had more arm articulation. I think there's so much playability in those arms that just went unutilized, But the legs go in and out, forward and back. You got a nice knee bend, rotation on the feeties. The tail's on a ball, and the tail is a softer rubber, so it bends. So I think he's still a really fun kid's toy, but I'm maybe being a little harsher on him now that the GXK stuff is coming out, and they're kind of better than the GVK toys were. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do size comparisons. So let's lay our Battle MechaGodzilla down here and show him off with the GXK King Kong from Playmates Toys. Yes, he was 2 reviews ago, by my count. Pretty neat. I actually think they scale magnificently together. Let's take him out of there. And now we have one of the villainous monsters replacing MechaGodzilla on the screen, but not in our hearts. Scar King. This is the Walmart exclusive 2-pack version of Scar King, but he is the same figure as the single-carded, except he's got what I think is a more interesting paint job. And I think he scales pretty well with MechaGodzilla as well. I think that really, really works. So let's move him out of there. And I'm not going to show him with the 2-pack Kong, because it's the same exact sculpt as the Kong I just showed you. But I will show him with the Bandai Japan Movie Monster Series 6-inch, again, Rex, Cyborg to Cyborg. And I think they scale pretty well together. That looks good, don't you think? I like it. I like it a lot. Anyways, let's move Rexy Smexy out of there. And to show him with a Bandai Creations figure. These are the American Godzilla figures I grew up with as a kid, like this 2004 Final Wars Godzilla, who I think looks pretty decent with him as well. The Godzilla's a little closer to the camera than he should be. There we go. He doesn't really want to lay down on his side. At least not on that side. They kiss. But yeah, that works out. So he's going to scale well with your 6 inches. Let's check out a 5-inch. Here he is with, actually this is a 4-inch. Here he is with the 4-inch blue spine version of the Trend Masters Heisei Godzilla. And that's just not going to work. It's just not working out, folks. Sorry. And Playmates doesn't do their Toho Classics line anymore. Sadly, because I actually quite enjoyed it. Despite some of the screwed up head sculpts, I really did enjoy that line. But here he is with the Godzilla Terrestris from Singular Point and from the Toho series Playmates line. So that actually looks pretty cool too. This Godzilla isn't nearly as big as this MechaGodzilla is, but if you want just them to have a cool sizing together, then I think this works. Pretty neat. Move him out of the way. And then last but not least, I want to show him off with a dinosaur. Yes, a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are some of the main inspirations for kaiju, visually at least. And a lot of us, me, display our kaiju with our dinosaurs. You know? If you collect one, it's very likely that you collect the other. So, here is Battle MechaGodzilla with the Papo Green Running T-Rex. Neat. It's cool. It's just to show him with kind of a big boy. Fun. So, what are my final thoughts on the Playmates Toys Godzilla vs. Kong Battle MechaGodzilla? He's cool. I think a little more paint on the body, especially the gimmick, would have really helped him stand out a bit. It's a really basic repaint, and it's really not even paint. It's just black plastic instead of, like, gray plastic now. But I still think it really works visually, you know, especially since he was a villainous MechaGodzilla. I think it really works as a color scheme. You know, his breath weapon accessory works pretty well. The gimmick, once again, seems kind of pointless if you're not going to paint the inside of it. But, whatever. But I think he is a cool figure. If you just want a nice, cool paint variant of the MechaGodzilla, I say go for it. I like MechaGodzillas in black, so I had to have him. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. I'll be seeing you all next time. Bye for now.